Kind of effortless.
You know, I think it is, Rick. He's got a real unique game, and that he has strengths in every area. So the key for him, and what I try to tell him is, you know, just go do all the things that you do. So sometimes it's three-point shooting, sometimes it's driving, sometimes it's rebounding in traffic, pushing the ball on the break, making a play for somebody else. Sometimes it's blocking a shot. His length helps him in so many ways. I mean, the dunk, obviously, but typically defensively, even more so. But I think the most important thing about him, he has no panic in his game. He just plays. You know, they're in zone, okay, then I'll do this. If they're a man, then I'll do that. If it's a running game, then I'll react accordingly. And I think that's the beauty of who he is.
At one point,
2 years ago, did you think it was cooked as fast for him?
I did, and for this reason, he was arguably our most consistent player in practice. You know, from August 1st to the 10th, and then after we started in September.
Looks like he has a poise on the court, doesn't seem rattled.
Nothing rattles him, you know, he reacts to quickness if they put a small guy on him, he reacts to size if they put a bigger, stronger guy on him. You know, he's just going to move around and figure it out. You know, he's going to figure out how to be effective in that, because every game's different. You know, they played a lot more zone tonight than I thought they were going to play. They started a bigger lineup and they played more zone. Okay? Well, now you got to play differently than if they're in man. You know, where you getting the ball, how you going to score against the zone. And he knows what to do. You don't tell him. Easy guy to coach.
in the second half there, they got it down to 13, and then you had a sequence of events where White got a three-point play, and then Marvel got a steal and dunk. Just how much of a boost do you feel that was in terms of your team being able to regain its composure?
Disappointing was we had the ball at the rim like the first 4 or 5 possessions, and we came away with nothing. And to their credit, they go on a 7-0 run. You know, but if you look at this team, that's what they do. They were down 15 in the second half against Temple, came back and took the lead. They were down to Monmouth, and they came back and won. And they were down to Penn State, and they raced the lead, not the whole thing, but they raced about 20 points of it. So, you know, this is a team that was not going to go away. They're experienced. They've got size and quickness. So, you know, we were expecting them to make a run. I, you know, would obviously like to have made some baskets to start the second half with a change some things, but you know, 2 guys made 2 big plays and got the lead back up to 16, 17, and then it wasn't so hard.
What was your strategy against their post player? You guys were able to get him in some early foul trouble.
Well, you know, you got to make him guard, and you got to move your feet. If he gets it, he's really tough. I mean, he's as good a post player as I've seen at, you know, we always say don't give a guy an angle. He is phenomenally good at creating that angle himself. You know, he seals, and they do a good job getting him the ball, but he's got a great pair of hands, and he just takes it right up and scores with either hand. And he's way more athletic than you first think he is, because he's strong, but he moves and he runs. So, I mean, this is a guy that, you know, he'll be a double-double guy and a potential player of the year candidate in that league.
Defensively, where did you think you guys were tonight?
Well, defensively, we were really good because we forced 25 turnovers, and we did a really good job on their perimeter players. You know, offensively, we shoot 39%. You know, and so it was critical that we really disrupt what they do. They're a set play team. We did a great job against their man, and then in the second half we played more zone, and it did a real good job there.
Is this team where you want it to be going to Bermuda?
You know, I think in many ways, and we hope to be 5-0, and we are. We recognize, you know, the caliber of competition we're going to face next week, but I feel we've made a lot of progress, Brooksy.
On a personal note, can you talk a little bit about the significance of competing against your alma mater again?
You know, I said this the other day. It was much more emotional for me the first time, and I was substantially younger, and it was in the Palestra. You know, a place that had been very close to me growing up, going to games with my mother and father, my brother. We lived in the Palestra every Saturday night for, seemed like 6 or 7 years. So to go back in there and coach against my alma mater in my 20s was a different experience than tonight. Nonetheless, you see the red and blue, and obviously I have tremendously fond memories of that institution. We had great teams. One of the main reasons I'm in coaching is I played for Bob Weinhauer, you know, my favorite coach ever, someone I had tremendous respect for, a true mentor, And he actually came out last year and spent about a week with our team, and that was great to spend time with him. So, you know, we wanted to get the win, you know, but you know, other than tonight, I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for Jerome. I'm rooting for that team. You know, I talked to Vince Curran before the game, and you know, Vince, and this is a team without question that I think can win the Ivy League championship. I watched them beat Harvard at the end of last year. Obviously, that's the standard right now in that league, but this team can beat them.
We've seen Olashany progress, especially in the offseason, but it seems to, all that hard work seems to be paying off in his offensive game.
He's so much more confident. You know, I think with him, it was always there, Scott, but he never had the confidence to actually go out there and do it in a game. He did it in practice. You'd put him in a game and he would fumble and he was jittery, but now he's so much more confident. You know, I yanked him in the second half and I just told him, I said, I'm going to put you back in. You know, you're not buried here. Well, we got to talk about what you didn't do, and then you go back in. And he was so much better. Last year, that would have really affected him in a negative way. This year, he handles it like a pro, and he goes back in there and picks us up.
You continue to get great effort out of five-spot coach, and Woodbury had 5 offensive boards. Gabe had 3. Melson had 2, and you know the big dunks and just during the heart of the first half there, they really dominated paint.
You know, we have so many guys, you know, that are big, that can get things done inside. And what it ends up doing is it puts so much pressure on them not to foul. You know, you think you shoot 40 free throws, you think everything's off the dribble. Now, some of it was, but a lot of it was second shots, getting fouled on putbacks because of our size. So there's a lot of ways we end up getting 40 free throws, and we've had, you know, pretty much every one of our games we've shot a ton.
Okay.
Thank you.
Coach.